Goswami on the debate at 10, co-powered by IIHM.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's time for your favorite section, the nation's sharpest opinion, where I speak my mind on an issue which really intrigues me. And now I don't understand this, viewers. I've never understood the logic of Twitter. Frankly, I don't know what this social media platform is based on. It's negative, it's anonymous, you can do what the hell you want. And I don't know why Elon Musk bought it. I don't know what merit he saw in it. Maybe he wants to feel important. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a waste in my view. But I have never understood what the big deal is about this blue tick. For the longest time, there were these Twitter people in Delhi and Bombay, at least I know what they've been doing in India, who any of their friends, anyone they like, they would say, okay, we'll give you a blue tick, we'll give you a blue tick, here's your blue tick. And to hang it around, it used to be doled out to people like a favor. So if you were in the Twitter club, you knew someone at Twitter, you could get a blue tick. And they would call that verification. So I've never understood what kind of verification it is. So if you actually do a chronological check, you will find that all these useless people who've got blue ticks essentially have had some contacts here and there through which they got a blue tick. People would lobby for a blue tick, people would negotiate for a blue tick, people would get influence used for a blue tick. It's the biggest scam, the blue tick scam. But the people with a blue tick, even if they had nothing else in life, even if they were worth nothing else in life, even if they had done nothing, or even if they had achieved nothing, would feel extremely significant as a result of having a blue tick. I'm not talking of any of the people who have done something in life, but I'm talking about a lot of people who haven't. But the problem is, for some reason, this blue tick has been seen to be a matter of pride and privilege and achievement. And that's the irony. Viewers, let me tell you, if you look at some of the journalists who've got the blue tick, they're no longer journalists since they got the blue tick, because they are so obsessed about the blue tick, they stopped doing journalism. All they think was how many people tweeted us, how many people retweeted us, how many followers did we get, blah, 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 ladies and gentlemen. In fact, positively, you should do a lot of research on the number of journalists who stopped being journalists and a number of journalists who lost their jobs or are about to lose their jobs ever since they got the blue tick. Politicians, ladies and gentlemen. There are these politicians who want to express their view on everything under the sun on the blue tick. Count the number of politicians who've lost their political position or their jobs after getting the blue tick. Cinema stars, Bollywood, they lose their mind. I mean, it's a positively infectious disease they are in. The need to constantly tell people what they are doing. You go to the gym, you go out, you call your photographer, say, please stand outside there, walk, and then you pretend that you're upset that they're around, viewers. They want their privacy intruded upon very often. I'm not talking about all. And then they complain about it, and then they obsess about it, and then they have conversations which are most uninformed and illiterate, because they aren't very well informed anyway. And these cinema stars lose their mind on the blue tick. All that matters among these people is how many people follow you. So you'd probably think, I don't know what's going on, but I know a lot of people who are having a meltdown today over this blue tick. And I thought, why? Why is there such a national meltdown over people who are losing their blue tick? Now, I can come up with 2 or 3 justifications, perhaps, or explanations for what's going on, viewers. And the first is that the left libs, who have no mass following, all they have in life is their blue tick, and how evil of Elon Musk to take even that away from them. So they hate Elon Musk with all their life. These are usually a bunch of YouTuber type, quote-unquote, journos who don't have a job, who don't have a position, who don't have any real work that they are doing. They call themselves satirists, comedians, mix of both. But for them, the blue tick matters because essentially that gives them relevance. And today, Elon Musk has taken away that relevance from them. Now, you can argue that Elon Musk has also told them, you want to pay for your blue tick, you can get it. But then the counter to that is, well, the whole aspect of privilege is gone. Because everyone knows that if you got a blue tick, you paid for it, it's worthless. In fact, it makes you look like a wannabe to have a blue tick that you buy. The second question is, ladies and gentlemen, this one group, its entire life is based upon endearing themselves to Silicon Valley executives. So when they come here to India, there's this group of Indians who hang around, salivating and saying, down with patriarchy, down with Brahminical patriarchy, down with Hinduism and things like that. And then they want to endear themselves to the Silicon Valley executives. And they've worked so hard at endearing themselves. And you know what the little reward they got at the end of it was? That blue tick. And now, in their minds, the evil Elon Musk comes and takes even that away from them. And lastly, viewers, I think the reason why they're really angry today is because they have lost the only instrument which guaranteed that they can spread fake news. Because when you put out fake news via the blue tick, you got it. It's essential. I know people may think, Arnab, you're putting things very, very simplistically. You should put some algorithmic reference to it, try to appear more informed. Viewers, I've done my research on it. But fundamentally, I'll tell you, and you do your research. I had a personal example about this. When India and Pakistan, there was a lot of tension. I know one of these quote-unquote journos who don't have any real following, they put out a screenshot, said this was from Republic, and said a whole unit of the Indian army has carried out a mutiny against the Indian state. And this person is quote-unquote verified, continued to spread the word. So by the time I complained, and I remember I called the folks at Twitter and I said, what the hell is going on? By the time that was put down, it was too late. The fake news had spread because there's some algorithm, I'm told, behind it, that if you have a blue tick, then you can amplify it. So the information you put out gets amplified far quicker than if you did not have a blue tick. And so I think the reason a lot of people are angry is out of a various bunch of reasons. One could be self-worth. Some people want to have self-worth by having a blue tick. Second is relevance. The left libs who have lost everything want the blue tick back to stay relevant. Third is blackmailing capacity. If I go around and say down with Brahminical patriarchy, Twitter will give me a blue tick and I'll use that to put out my fake news here and there. And spreading fake news is also seen by these people to be a legitimate form of seeking self-worth. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a very complex phenomenon. The blue tick dropped. But why are some people feeling blue? Oh, so blue. I don't know. Let's debate.
Over the last 24 hours, Twitter has started removing the legacy blue tick from various handles.
It's a good thing. It's very good because in a capitalist market, people should actually be paying for services. There should be actual physical verification, which is what is being requested. Additional features for extra money. If you don't want it, you're still free to tweet.
As Twitter removes the legacy blue ticks from accounts that haven't paid to have the blue tick on their handles, there's complete meltdown on the social platform. Many big names with millions of followers saw their blue tick gone in an instant because they just didn't pay for it.
Amidst the collective social media meltdown over blue ticks, Elon Musk said they will survive somehow. Blue ticks have become the biggest conversation.
इसकी वजह से काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकती हैं. साइबर क्रिमिनल्स जो हैं वो एक्टिव हो सकते हैं और इस मौके का फ़ायदा उठा सकते हैं. यूज़र्स के लिए आइडेंटिफाई करना टफ हो गया है क्योंकि डायरेक्टली जब आप ट्वीट किसी को करते हैं या उस टाइम में टैग करते हैं तो टैग करते टाइम पे हैंडल से आइडेंटिफाई करना मुश्किल हो जाता है क्योंकि पहले तो ब्लू टिक था वेरीफाई चेक करने के लिए, अब वो नहीं है, तो गलत प्रोफाइल्स को टैग किया जा सकता है.
What's the hoopla all about? Let's debate.
And earlier today I called Sohail and I said, what's wrong with you? I mean, you're having a right, royal, positive, extravagant, lavish, cultivated, rehearsed. God knows I've never seen this kind of a meltdown ever. And somebody sent me his tweets. I'm not on Twitter, I don't get to know, but somebody sent me a long list of what you've been putting out. What's happened, man? It's okay. You only lost a blue tick and you're rich enough to buy 20 of them or 1,000 of them. Just go and buy yourself a blue tick. What's the problem, Sohail? You can probably give more money to Elon Musk if he's going to have losses in the company, and you're the last person to be complaining. My blue tick is gone. My blue tick is gone. He's been saying since morning.
You haven't heard of Groucho Marx, who said, "I would never want to be a member of a club that would have me." So,
Louder.
I'm not going to pay for this because I'm doing Elon Musk a favor. Why am I doing him a favor?
Louder.
The reason why I have 4.6 million followers is either they hate me, they love me, I give them something interesting to chew on. Why should I, when I'm providing the content to this joker Elon Musk, why should I have to pay him whatever amount? See, the money is not important. And let me tell you another thing. As you mentioned in your opening remarks, I didn't ask for the blue verification. I got it.
How did you get it? No, why did you get it?
I was having fun.
Why did you get it?
I don't know. They said because I know Arnab Goswami. And since Arnab is not on Twitter, I was Arnab's alibi. And whenever Arnab wanted his stuff tweeted, I would tweet because of Arnab. They were very sweet. It's because I was Arnab's friend.
Seriously, Sohail, the question is, why did you get a blue tick and others not get a blue tick? Let us tick down that issue.
I would imagine because of content. Because 1 minute here, just keep quiet for a minute. Because of content, because I was pretty, irreverent, and I really don't know what the yardstick was. But the fact, Arnab, is you established a yardstick, and now you've established another yardstick. Your yardstick now is anyone who pays gets it. There are 3 problems with that. Number 1, you will have people who will impersonate. You will have about 100 Arnab Goswamis. How are you going to check who's real and who's a parody? Number 2, Elon Musk will open himself to more lawsuits that he can imagine. Because suppose someone impersonates me and sends out a tweet with my photograph, my name. I can sue the platform because the platform is disseminating that content. Number 3, today you're telling the world that if you pay, you can get verified. It's okay. Verification is not based on payment. It's based on who you are, what value you add or don't add.
What is the definition of who you are? Who you are?
In the sense, okay, now you said some journalists got it. Government officials have it. People who are in the media have it. Authors have it. So, there must be a yardstick
I'll tell you bluntly, the left clip types got it. That was seen to be the biggest attribute.
Not at all. The right-wingers have it. The right-wingers have it. Everyone had it.
But okay, let me get the other side now. I think that's Abhishek out there. Abhishek, you're hearing this. Abhishek, 1 minute. Abhishek Sudhir. On one occasion, it's not you who's Abhishek. There's another Abhishek. Why do you start smiling when I didn't take your name? Abhishek Asthana on my program tonight says it's okay. It's fair. He's taking on Sohail. Go on, Abhishek. What do you think?
So actually, what happened was...
He's co-founder of Hood, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Co-founder of Hood, Abhishek Asthana. Go on.
Yeah, so back in 1947, when India got independence, there were about 565 princely states which got disbanded. And all those Nawabs and Maharajas suddenly lost their fiefdom. So this is that day, basically, when suddenly these guys are grappling with this, that how come their fiefdom is lost. And I was just tweeting today that Elon Musk should give them a privy purse or a pension that they used to get when they lost their blue tick. So I guess blue tick has been distributed like revdi, as they say earlier.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, and it has been distributed like revdi earlier. I could see their policies have changed over the years. For the last 12 years, they have, many times they have tweaked their policy to give out blue ticks. Suddenly, now there is no quantum to prominence, right? You can't say that this guy is prominent because the score is this much and this guy is not prominent. BuzzFeed interns also got blue ticks, by the way.
Yeah, why did they get it?
Because they had friends at Twitter.
So the point is, what you're saying is, and Ms. Napaneni, who's an advocate of the Supreme Court and also founder of Cyber Sathi. So basically, Ms. Napaneni, there's an admission that this was nepotism. It is nepotism. This is some form of nepotism. It was. Nobody likes to feel unimportant when I say that, but it was a quote-unquote nepotistic club, wasn't it? There's no rules for getting a blue tick.
Now, this is exactly the difficulty, Arnab, because, we talk about the tick mark compliance mechanism, right?
Yeah.
So here is a tick mark mechanism which is now being adapted, which is purely based on payment, if that be so. And if it is not going through the entire process of actually verifying the individual or the entity to whom a blue tick is being given, and let's assume, what is the kind of usage that it's going to be put to. See, some may say this is all hypothetical, but we have already seen, we are handling cases on a daily basis where on social media platforms, you have big brands being duplicated to the extent that the logo, the shell of a website, everything is captured. And those are being used for financial crimes. So you already have this situation. So forget about the clubs, forget about the tick mark, compliance mechanism. But here you have a real and present danger.
That's a problem.
And if Elon Musk believes that it's only a matter of making money, every corporate entity has the right to make money in the legal and proper way. But if that is going to be done without following due process, if it is going to be done where it is going to jeopardize.
That's a point. That's a good point. Because what if, for example...
No, there's no such thing.
Okay, Abhishek.
Yes, I just want to come in. Due process does not apply to Elon Musk. Elon Musk runs a private company. And if you don't want to use his platform, you're free to walk away. You don't want to play for the blue tick, you're free to walk away. If brands feel that Twitter, impersonation is a problem with Twitter, brands are free not to have the Twitter accounts. We had a controversy with NPR, which is National Public Radio in the United States. And the BBC, which has had issues.
One minute. Nobody's forcing anyone.
I'm just saying.
No, 1 minute.
This is
Just an issue. 1 minute. Twitter is a private company whose servers are in the United States of America. They are therefore bound by US laws. And this is one thing we must say. We must be very careful of the legal implications of giving all data to American companies because they're not liable to us. Okay. Tomorrow, Abhishek, God forbid you or Sohail or anyone else who is not on Twitter, suppose you were not on Twitter, and the Lashkar-e-Toiba pays, the Lashkar-e-Toiba pays through multiple routes, the dark web, whatever, pays money to impersonate an individual / an organization. I mean, I don't trust.
Yes.
I don't trust Elon Musk and some, trigger-happy Twitter executive sitting God knows where in America to decide whether this is a verifiable identity or not. That's the danger, Khushbu, isn't it? I want to bring in Khushbu on this. This is a dangerous situation. Anyone can buy anything, $8.
I absolutely no.
Yeah, please, Khushbu.
Yeah. So
Khushbu is a cyber law expert, by the way, from Mumbai. Yeah.
Let me put a point with regard to your impersonation. I, in a way, agree with you that impersonation is something which we will yet deal with. But at the same time, you have to understand wherever the money is involved here, you're having a contract where you're paying the money. When some platform is earning a money out of it, there is a added responsibility or a liability that comes in place over there. So let's say I am now there on the platform and somebody has got a account on that platform via name and there is a blue tick. That means there's a place where the KYC is done. KYC can be a different standard. The KYC which they are taking care of is a OTP on your mobile number, one. And the second, that there should be money coming from an account. Now, from which platform the money is coming? That's something they have to play on. They are also silent on the aspect that what kind of KYC or verification or authentication they are doing. And for that, I think more transparency is required. But I will go back on other point of it that, see, there is not just blue tick or organization related. We are forgetting the aspect of gray and orange. These are two more ticks which are available. Orange is for organization so that those copyright or trademark issues don't appear. So an organization like Republic or organization like Amazon or others can have an orange tick that they are into the business over there and they get that, or so that user like you and me will understand that that's an authentic account of an organization. Same with the gray, like for example, our Home Minister, Prime Minister, I4C account, which is operated, CyberDost account, which is operated by under the Home Ministry of India. These are all given a gray tick. Once the verification happens, other accounts of MeTi or let's say PIB will get authentication. The channels are given gray accounts. The news channels I'm talking about, like India Today and others, have got gray account. So the part of whether authenticity or the aspect that we can rely on on that information or not, I think that's something which should not be a doubt. The doubt should come on that whether the question which is coming up is that why have you taken away my right of getting that privilege of a blue tick all of a sudden? One should understand they're not taking away their.
No, but
they're not taking away your right to be on the platform.
Khushbu, what was that?
There is no such right.
There was no basis of that right. Was there
Absolutely,
Prashant
absolutely.
Mali?
And you're still
Prashant
there.
Mali,
and you're still there on the
let's
Twitter.
get the other side. Prashant Mali is a well-known cyber and privacy law expert. We're also joined by Ajay Datta, who's MD of the Data Group of Industries. I just want to get everyone in. We are also a well-known business strategist, Lloyd Matthias. So let me get Prashant and Lloyd in first here. There was no fundamental reason or basis or logic, Ajay, to give the blue tick, was there? Was there any logic as far as dissemination of blue tick was concerned?
So that only Twitter knows, and which they never disclosed. We all know that, which they always said that it's a verified person or a verified profile in whatever methods they chose to verify. It was in no way to tell whether he is a prominent one or no one. They always said it's a verified profile, and they always chose to give this verified profile to those people who could be impersonated. Like, for example, we have the Aadhaar for everyone in the country. There is no discrimination that rich or poor, famous or not famous. Everybody has an Aadhaar, right? And there is no other way that you can get or you don't get it. In Twitter, they chose to discriminate that process, that we will verify only certain class of people and only in certain way, which is not transparent to us, not transparent to anybody, not forget about India. And that's what the process which they followed. I had a blue tick, and like Sohail and like everybody else, and it is no more there. That is not the issue. Blue tick or no blue tick, we are on Twitter. What concerns me is on two sides. One, Twitter gave this blue tick with the verification of verifying this with his profile. Like Sohail profile was verified. Whether he does it or somebody else does it, it doesn't matter. Somebody verified that he is a real Sohail Seth. And same is with Ajay Datta. Now the question is, what is the need of...
No, 1 minute. See, there brings in, Ajay, the element of trust and the element of responsibility.
Yeah.
When you are saying an individual is verified, you are spreading your influence, Lloyd, beyond geographies, beyond your small Silicon Valley world. Yeah. You are using your technology to grant a form of social legitimacy and acceptability across all sectors of society in every geography of the world. My view is, Lloyd, personally, if Elon Musk says he's a Democrat, he's not. Because he's not being democratic about it. He is taking the power unto himself. And by bringing in categories of grey and golden and blue, and tomorrow he may bring pink and black and etc., he may bring various others, he will create a classification system. It will almost be like a caste system, right? In some places he's doing the right thing. So if he says BBC is a government organization and will therefore be classified whatever grey or whatever a government organization is, he's completely correct, Lloyd, because BBC is the government funded organization. BBC can claim it is independent, but it's not. It can get a blue tick or a government tick. It can't get an independent tick. Question here is this a power game? Question number one, is the power game being played by Twitter, in your view, Lloyd?
So according to
Let me get Lloyd in. Watch it. Ajay, let me get Lloyd in on this. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
So Arnab, I think the existing system is not transparent, the old system. I think it created a lords and peasants system which was run by a private company. I think by opening it up right now to a payment of $8 a month, I think what Twitter has done effectively is really democratize the platform. Right? And for the concerns of those who have of government handles or brands or businesses, I think you have other categories. But in a common sense manner, it's actually opened up the platform, made it democratic. So almost everyone has equal rights as a user. If you're paying the $8, you get other features, you get longer tweets, you get lesser advertising, you get the benefit of formatting it, editing your tweets, and so on and so forth. I think the old system was completely untransparent, I think it was opaque, and it actually was very discretionary, right? So a private company really had the ability to kind of build eminence for a person, and for a lot of people it just became a status symbol. And I see a lot of the carping that's happening is people who suddenly feel let down because there's this little caste system that was created by Twitter, which is now gone, right? So the ability to actually, have that status of saying that I've got a blue tick, you don't, I think that's gone. I think now people are going to follow you for the worth of what you are putting out there. And if you're a government or a business, then you have other ways of authentication.
I take that. Now, Gaurav is very upset today. He's really angry. First of all, I think you can explain that he's also having a right. He's competing with Sohail Seth in having a meltdown. What happened, Gaurav? Tell us, what happened to you?
Hey, I had a fun thing, not a meltdown. Please don't discard.
I don't know, you
humor
Twitter
for
people,
meltdown.
I don't
was just
understand.
taking the piss on Elon Musk. Someone needs to take the piss on him. That's what I was doing.
Arnab, I had a blue tick long before Elon Musk took over Twitter. And I have a few followers on Twitter. So Elon Musk says that you must pay me this money, and for this, I will give you this, which is longer tweets, longer videos, ability to edit, and the continuation of the blue tick. And I said, fine, it's your company. Whatever you decide, I'm okay with that. I'll not get into the, the deeper meaning of, how Twitter is manipulating, etc. For me, it was a transaction, like you buy stuff at a shop. So you give me $8 and I'll give you this. So I gave Elon Musk my $8 and he took away everything. Now that is my problem.
You actually paid. Okay, so you paid. One minute. So you paid $8. When did you pay $8?
Arnab, I paid my money on the 14th of March. I paid my money. Here is my invoice, Arnab.
He paid money. He paid money for the thing. He paid on the 14th of March. Okay. Then how long were you promised this? What was the arrangement?
So the arrangement said that you have to pay, otherwise it will be taken away. I've had the blue tick for 3-4 years now. So I paid this money, Arnab. I paid 9,400 rupees for an annual subscription. That money was deducted from my account. I got a receipt. I have an invoice with me.
How many followers do you have, Gaurav, on Twitter?
Now 1.5 million.
You have 1.5 million followers on Twitter. And
yes.
I don't know. Elon Musk should be paying you money, man.
So I have 4.6.
Oh man, Elon Musk should be paying you lots of money. Sohail, between both of you, you have 6 million followers.
So
the only difference is Sohail has tons of money and still won't pay the $8. This is crazy situation.
No. You see, again.
No.
Again. Just like you don't eat every dish you look at, you don't have to pay for everything that's available. I mean, why the hell should I pay Elon Musk?
No, 1 minute.
That joker has enough money.
Who has? Point is, you see, you are the difference also between you and Gaurav.
Okay, I'll tweet for Republic. Why don't you pay my subscription? I tweet everything on Republic every day.
Because you like Republic. I mean, I can't do anything about it.
Arnab is the next best thing after sliced bread.
That's okay.
You give 9,400.
My question is Sohail. That's okay. My question is Sohail. See, the difference between you and Gaurav Arya is that Gaurav Arya you are a national security threat and Gaurav is a national security asset. That's the difference between the both of you. Now, question being.
Therefore, don't have me impersonate you.
No, but I have a serious question. No, who the hell would want to impersonate you? It's bad enough.
I have 20 accounts on my name with my phone.
Today we're having a real Sohail Seth moment, aren't we? The man is Okay, now listen to me. The question is serious. You see, Subrashta, what happens is Gaurav Arya has 1.5 million followers, but at the same time, his tweets have a very strong national security angle to them. You follow Sohail? Let's go back to the very serious issue. I'm glad he came actually, because Gaurav is followed a lot. See, people in the internal security world follow him, read him. He's seen to be a voice that represents the views of a nationalistic Indian. He's respected for his security views, and he has a lot of people who have threatened him from Pakistan. He's had in Pakistan, streets of Pakistan, he's had his effigies burnt, he's had threats from terrorist groups in Pakistan. We all know that. And I think he's an exceptionally brave man. He does this, absolutely on a daily basis. My concern is, Subrashta, Gaurav Arya cannot be impersonated. And I don't trust some Silicon Valley intern to decide whether the person they would be authenticating with any tick in the future is the real Gaurav Arya or not. You get my point, Subrashta?
Right. So, Arnab, sorry for, my views might come across a little harsh, but the thing is, Twitter is no space for internal security discussions or strategic discussions. Let me just put it out very crudely. For the simple reason, Twitter didn't come to democratize conversations, etc., whatever values we have been brought up to believe about Twitter is not really the mandate of a private limited company, which I'm sure Twitter is. The CEO of Twitter, Elon Musk, now, I think he's there for just to make profits out of it. So to assume that as conscientious Indian citizens or any citizen for that matter, we are going to take to Twitter and have all these strategic geopolitical discussions out there and not invite either the ire of our opponents or to accept it as a holy grail, I think it would be too short-sighted on our part. Why are we on Twitter? We are on Twitter because it gives us space to air our views publicly. It also gives us a platform to connect with so many people. And of course, there's a certain degree of validation that you get if you have X number of followers. For some, I'm not talking about everybody else. Whether we choose to live on Twitter or we choose to create our own platform, I'm sure, Arnab, you have promoted Coup to a large extent. But has Coup been able to reach the kind of popularity that Twitter did?
No, it hasn't.
No, it did not. Yes. So then the choice is really ours. Do we wish to stay on a platform like Twitter and have these, very deep-rooted conversations, or do we stay on Twitter just for fun? Do we stay on Twitter to use Twitter as Twitter?
I think that's what it will become.
No, one thing, Arnab, I must come in here.
Yes.
I used my 4.6 million following, and I continue to use it for the following. Number one, for blood donation and calls for blood. Number two, during COVID, I did a lot of work in connecting people. And number three, I support and I amplify a lot of work of charity, especially for street children like Asra. I mean, anyone who follows my Twitter account knows that I amplify those regardless of caste, where they come from, blah, blah, blah. So I'm actually using that also as a platform which provides aid and assistance.
No, I must say that, that Sohail has done some exceptional work. I mean, besides all the humor, if you follow his tweets, and he has, in the time of COVID, I would say this, you did use your 4+ million followers very, very strongly to do some really solid work. And another point is also about Gaurav. What happens in Gaurav's case is, you're saying it's not a medium to spread your message. Now, you may not put out long articles, but if you've got 1.5 followers of a core audience, then you can disseminate the right message about India. You can even, in your retweets, put out articles which can lead to destination reading, which Gaurav does, because Gaurav's videos go viral. And my concern is different. Isn't it your concern about impersonation? Isn't impersonation a concern for you, Gaurav?
And thanks to Twitter, I corrected your friend Arnab. I corrected Shashi Tharoor's English on Twitter, if you remember.
I'm so happy.
Thanks to you.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you did that. But I don't think the company of friends. You're my friend. I wouldn't say that for others. But question is impersonation. Now let's address that's the serious elephant in the room out here. I'm concerned about a person like Gaurav Arya. And Gaurav, what do you think about that?
It's a real problem, Arnab, and it's been tried many a time. And what really bothers me is that Twitter was bad before, and for all the calls of democratization of Twitter, it was opaque earlier. Now it's pitch black. See, you see what is happening is that there could be 500 major Gaurav Aryas on Twitter. And somebody could pay the money and get the blue tick, and from tomorrow he's Major Gaurav Arya, and I'm not.
That's the point.
And it's as simple as that, Arnab, too. Yeah. So this is a very real threat, Arnab. Very real threat. I don't know how they were giving blue ticks earlier, and it does not make me any more comfortable today.
So that brings us to the moot point, Lloyd and Abhishek. I'm bringing you back into the discussion. Ms. Napaneni just coming in. That the issue here, and I'm glad we're having a really serious chat about this, Lloyd. The issue is, do we trust the Twitter with the gatekeeping? So far, Lloyd, anonymity, wasn't it, Sohail? So far, anonymity was the principle of Twitter, and therefore, there was a certain kind of conversation on Twitter. I mean, but not all. But can we trust Twitter with the gatekeeping of our very identities, Lloyd?
Great point, Arnab. But I just say, before we get to that point, I think the importance is to recognize that Twitter is ultimately a business platform. And like any social media platform, they're doing a freemium model, which means Elon Musk paid $44 billion to acquire Twitter. He's trying to monetize it by actually giving a small set of consumers the option to pay up $8 a month and therefore use a larger set of features, which is a perfectly rational business objective. I think the issue that Gaurav is making is equally valid. I think the concern about authenticity is being addressed by the gray and the gold ticks. And over time, I think it's completely fair for people to be rational enough to choose what genuine Major Gaurav Arya from a fake one. Right? I think that's something that, but to have a private platform decides who gets a blue tick and who doesn't, basis what they think is issues of national importance, I think is overstretching this. Finally, it's a one-man owned platform. It was a private company till he took it private. I think that's effectively his only way of recovering the money. And I think that's perfectly logical.
You're looking at it, you're looking at it rightly, Lloyd. You're looking at it as
it's about the ego.
Yeah, you're looking at it from the point of business strategy. And I don't stand against you on that. I mean, there is a business model, and obviously Elon Musk, as Sohail, you know, and Ms. Napineni, we all know, has probably overpaid for Twitter, so he's out to recoup his losses, and that's been his fundamental purpose. And then he's going to merge Twitter into X Corporation, and so he's going to create what is a sustainable business model.
He is an insane man. He has dithered from the time he took over Twitter. That man is not normal. A. B. You know, the point that Gaurav made, I started with that. What about impersonation? What about the legality? Today, Arnab, someone uses my name and photograph and sends out a message which is violent of volatility. Who's responsible? Now tell me, you raised a very important point which Gaurav alluded to. Tomorrow, if someone wants to fan communal flames and uses this platform because he has paid money, and do you think they can't get accounts? I mean, this country, we've seen people do multiple KYCs for the same person. Who is going to be ultimately responsible? Our government can barely, you remember the amount of time Ravi Shankar Prasad spent in trying to control Google, and poor chap, then he had to exit. So who is going to be in charge? And your point about the servers being in the United States poses a grave national security threat.
Yeah. So
where is the KYC?
Yeah,
Today, if I pay money, I get what I want.
No,
I'm not buying a cinema ticket.
No, that's completely correct. And you see, I think what Sohail and Ms. Napineni, I think what Twitter is doing, what Elon Musk is doing, he's increasing his profit and reducing his responsibility.
Yes.
You see, Sohail, it's a very smart strategy by him from his perspective. He's saying, I'm increasing my revenue.
He's increasing the risk of being sued.
No, he's de-risking himself completely, Ms. Napineni. You would understand that as a lawyer, because he can simply go and say, listen, my limited responsibility is for government handles and organizations. One, I do not take responsibility for individuals. Now, Ms. Napineni, I want to bring in a specific example out here which raises this question. There was a white supremacist, right, who got a blue tick in America. And in November 2017, Twitter had mass halted public submissions for verification after the left in America protested against a blue tick being given, right, to the account of a man who was a well-known white supremacist, a Ku Klux Klan supporter. So I think the way it's working is, Elon Musk says, I've got the company, I want to get the profit, I'm not going to take the legal liability, and there's the legal liability. They look at 700 plus million that Fox News had to pay recently to settle a case. In America, legal liability is financial liability. So he is completely de-risked himself. And this could create chaos globally, Ms. Napineni, because nobody knows who's the real Sohail Seth, who's the real Gaurav Arya anymore.
No, he's added risk. What are you saying? He's added risk.
He's added risk for you, Sohail. He's added risk for you. not for himself as an organization.
No,
For
that's
himself,
not correct.
I can sue Twitter in Delaware,
that's not correct,
like
Arnab.
Dominion sued Fox, and take him to the cleaners because the servers are in the United States. I can actually sue Elon Musk for every penny that he has because
Arnab,
he has
may
allowed
I come in?
impersonation on a private company which he controls. So he's responsible.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yes,
Arnab,
please.
may I
Yeah.
come in on this?
Yes, please.
Arnab, I'm completely with Sohail on this. He's absolutely right. Elon Musk has not de-risked himself. He has actually taken on more risk here.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, what I wanted to emphasize was for those people who already had a blue tick and for people like Major who has bought a blue tick, if it has been taken away, it's a vested right that has been taken away. And there is legal jurisprudence that has been evolved in the US. Forget about India, in US, which will impact Twitter.
But
Secondly, in terms of the liability angle which you pulled up,
Yeah.
the fact that Twitter is now claiming that it is giving a blue tick as a verification tick. It is not saying it's a blue tick which verifies that I paid $8. It's supposed to be a verification of the identity. Then they cannot shy away from the responsibility. It's not about us mulcting liability on Twitter for national security. It's about making them accountable for what the service which they are claiming that they are giving for that $8. Therefore, what was actually free earlier, and they're going into a freemium process that comes with accountability and liability. And finally, what I wanted to emphasize is there are laws in terms of a verification process that is to be emphasized. One of the early speakers talked about it as if, we are talking about the due process as in constitutional rights, which, accrue to state governments, etc. That's not what we are talking about here. There are processes that are mandated for corporates to follow. Under the Indian law, there is a provision which says that you can do a voluntary process of verification, but the assumption there is that you will then do this process of verification of identity and stand by that. You will then provide details pursuant thereto as and when called upon by. And this is where the due process comes in. So it should not be misconstrued with this kind of a simplistic statement by that speaker who said due process doesn't apply to a corporate entity. Of course it does, where the process is supposed to be followed or complied with by them. And that's why I started with a joke about tick marks on compliance.
Ms. Kapani, as you are aware, these social media companies are very well armed legally. And when you say accept, when you press the accept button, they make you accept a contract. Obviously, 99.99% of the people do not read the fine print of that. But you are bound by the contract. And therefore, I think what happens here is the company Twitter, which is valued in billions, for which Elon Musk paid 44 billion allegedly, has in the past tried to threaten Twitter users with Twitter verification, saying, if you mislead people, we will take back your verification, which is proof. And there is continuity in the company. I think the point to be made is that whether in a, Ms. Kapani, please on the screen. The point is, you can't today say a new CEO took over and hence I am not responsible for everything that happened in the past. Because in the past, the same organization benefited from Sohail Seth amassing his personal following to get 4.5 million followers. You can't disown any responsibility to the users. So there are very complex legal issues emerging.
Yes, and the very point that you made, Arnab, and by the way, I am losing my identity here now. It's Nappannai, and I know it's a bit of a tongue twister. No, that's okay. So the very point you raised in terms of, what is the liability that can accrue to Twitter, considering that users are going and clicking that I accept button. And that's exactly what the US courts have decided on by saying that these are all standard form contracts. So merely because somebody came and clicked on something doesn't mean that you can resort to unconscionable terms.
No, this is this is a very serious debate, the fact is that there are all kinds of people. Shekhar Vijayan is on on this. Shekhar, what is the immediate consequence for you, for others, for users? Just give me a user perspective of this blue tick meltdown.
So Arnab, from my perspective, I have a blue tick verification on Twitter. I've also got a verification on the Coup app also. I feel it's also a good platform to network and to interact. But you see this meltdown which is happening around us, which makes no sense at all. You find celebrities of all types, just reacting in a manner which is very unjustified, saying that this is how is Twitter reacting like this. But for people like us, for example, I don't have any followers on Twitter, but I have got a verification. From my perspective, it's a great networking tool. From my perspective, it's a great way
Have you paid
to build
for
your
it
business,
recently,
to do
like
something.
Gaurav paid?
No.
You didn't pay? I find that interesting. How come you didn't pay?
For it.
No, 1 minute. You've not been asked to pay to retain your blue tick?
No, I haven't paid.
How does this happen, Gaurav? How come you're asked to pay, he's not asked to pay?
I don't know, Arnab. It appeared on my
Sohail, 1
phone.
minute. Sohail saying something there. What is it, Sohail? It's all bizarre stuff.
1 minute. Everyone has to pay. Bari sabki aayegi. So don't exult in the fact कि भाई अभी तक मेरे को payment नहीं दिया. They will come to you. एक एक करके Elon Musk आपके पीछे आएगा. So don't imagine that you're protected or as my late grandmother said, तुम्हारे लाटू लगे हैं, बल्ब लगे हैं कि तुमको कोई नहीं छुएगा. सबकी बारी आएगी, सबका नंबर लगेगा. जब तक नहीं लगे, आप खुश रहो.
So, but my perspective on this is it's made the ground even for everybody. I think that's the main thing here. And I think that's where everybody is rejoicing on this.
Has it? I don't think so.
It makes...
I don't think so. No, it hasn't made the ground.
Arnab Goswami went to Oxford or Cambridge. Arnab Goswami runs a television channel. He's an entrepreneur. Where is he equal to everyone else? Even with the journalistic fraternity, he's different. Other jokers are getting a salary. He's an owner. How is this democratic, bhai? ये democracy का हुआ किसने पैदा किया?
No, but 1 second. Sohail, now I have to tell you this. There's some system called merit in this country. I didn't pay my way through. No, 1 minute. Just I didn't pay my way through university. You follow a point.
But you got a scholarship.
You have to achieve. No. Point is you have to get the grades. You have to work hard. You have to get your way through. The point is what is happening on Twitter.
And getting verification. Where is their merit?
No,
you are only buttressing my argument.
Question is there is no merit here. Here it is. Here the thing is.
No. Therefore, people who are paying and getting verification is exactly your argument.
Save Sohail. Let me give you a simple example of this. You work hard.
See, you'll never win a debate against me in college or school.
You studied hard in school, which you never did, so you won't understand this. But let me tell you that some of we have worked hard in school. We got the grades. You never did, but that's okay, Sohail. But point is, suppose I work hard. I get into a university after a lot of effort, Sohail, lot of effort, which you never put. but I go there and I say I have landed in the course. They say you're already here, and look here, Sohail Seth is sitting in your way. Suppose Sohail Seth impersonates me. 1 second.
No. See, again, let me tell you, this is why I was always a better
It's double jeopardy, my friend. You're realizing.
Your
this
point
is double jeopardy.
Arnab Goswami got into Oxford or Cambridge because of merit. Arnab Goswami didn't pay his way through. Today, you are paying your way through for verification on Twitter. Therefore, it is not democratic at all. It is not merit-based at all.
The point is...
It is transactional.
No, the point
Please understand the logic. It's transactional.
The point being tonight is that I think it's a very worrying fact out here. Very, very worrying fact, Lloyd. I think the question is the extent of power. I do believe that Elon Musk is using Twitter to exert power and be the global gatekeeper. And without any sense of responsibility. He's not taking any legal liability, but he wants the influence. And I think one has to look at the deeper game out here. Lloyd, I just want your take on that, Lloyd.
But just one last point, Arnab, I think once the status of the blue tick that existed over the last 5 years disappears, people will know that anyone who has a blue tick has nothing but just paid for it. I think once that disappears, I think a lot of the brouhaha comes down. Right now, a lot of the hurt that's visible for a lot of people is the fact that somebody who's paid for it has got it. Earlier, I got it for free. I think in that sense, it's the ultimate democratic tool. What he's done is he's opened it up. You can pay $8, you get it. right? And that's what matters. And people over time will learn to discern between somebody who's paid $8 and got a blue tick, and someone who's really worth his tweets.
I think but that is true. But what about the other verifications that come in the process? What about the individuals? Let me look at the cases like Gaurav or Sohail who've got this mass following. What happens to them? Because today, they have no verification except the option of buying a verification. Do you have any, Sohail, Gaurav? You either buy a blue tick verification, you can't get an organizational verification or a government verification. Right, which means
I've now applied under Republic as panelist, but I don't know if they'll give it.
Point is that does this not make impersonation extremely easy? That is impersonation, Abhishek, extremely easy after this, because nobody is going to see the tweet and say, "Oh, it is the Sohail Seth with 4.5 million," or it is the Gaurav Arya with. You just see the name and you get away with it, and the impersonation is in the name.
So yeah, my whole thing is simple. The definition and the valuation of that blue tick will go down, of course. The next generation will come and see this as a currency, basically. These people have paid for it. It's a badge, basically, that you buy in the market. It's not something which verifies you as an individual. So the whole currency...
What none of you is discussing, I thought Lloyd would discuss it. Arnab, I don't do it, but I know several people who are on Twitter who take money to promote brands in the garb of being influencers. They've been taking money on the back of their blue tick. They are, I've been approached a zillion times by brands saying, "Aap ye restaurant ka tweet kar do, iska tweet kar do," and but look, that's a call that you have to take. I'm saying in this so-called democratic universe, people say to hell with it, I'll do whatever I want.
But this blue tick is not going to be the certificate of authentication of a personality. I mean, it's just going to be a badge which you can buy. So I guess the definition has been set for the last 10 years. That definition is what Elon is changing now. It's just,
But a minute, Elon Musk is not saying he's going to stop at this. You got 3 categories of blue ticks today. Tomorrow he could have 20.
Elon Musk is mentally unstable. He might go back on this too.
Absolutely.
This man has made more twists and turns than any human being at the corporate level in America. So I wouldn't put it past him for him to do a turnaround.
Elon has privatized Twitter just to fund his experiments, basically. See, he's going to experiment till he makes money.
But there's a difference there, and I take Manasvi on this. You see, when you're doing Tesla, when you're doing SpaceX, you're dealing with hardware. And I think some of the work that he's done on the space front is exceptional. You cannot take that away from him. He's absolutely a genius there in terms of the scale that he's thought of. But this Manasvi is not hardware. It is individuals. It is individuals. And the concern of impersonation, individuals' identity have all made it a very mixed up issue, hasn't it? Manasvi.
As of now, we can say it's mixed up, but the reality is he has taken up verification to subscription. He has taken up verification to premium version of using our services. That is his right. Before that, we believed that a person who's verified on Twitter is a verified personality, which is not the case anymore. I think it's more about how do you want to use that particular services for a greater advantage of your audience. If you want to have more characters to your words which you write, you can use the subscription. If you want to show the badge, it is no more going to be a badge of honor which was considered by lots of people till yesterday. I think it's a more of a subscription free model and a premium model. It's going to go that way. You like it, you take the premium version of the service. If you don't like it, you continue using free version. As Arnab, like you never use Twitter, you don't like it, you don't endorse it. There are people who, like me, I would use it for free. I'm not going to pay for it. But there will be people who take lots of time on Twitter, invest on Twitter. They have an entire business which is run on Twitter. They have their audience, followers, and they, like Sohail said, they endorse lots of stuff on Twitter, and they have this. There's an entire market of influencers network, and they may continue to have this badge of verification, which I believe in the future is going to be a badge of subscription. No more verification. I don't think in India or anywhere in the world that people are going to consider this as verification. It's like I've subscribed a service. I may not subscribe Netflix tomorrow. I may not subscribe any other services. It's just like any other subscription. I think that is how it's going to move forward for Twitter across the world.
No, I think it's also a business decision that Elon Musk has taken here. He's de-risking himself, but as was said earlier by Miss Napinai, there is, he may have landed himself in a bigger mess. lastly, I'd like to ask Sohail here and Gaurav. First to Gaurav and then Sohail. Gaurav, what's your next line? You lost your blue tick after paying for it, right? What is going to be your next approach? Will you be on Twitter? Will you use it as a medium? Will you pay for a blue tick? What's your strategy? Or will you choose an alternative platform?
So Arnab, I already had the blue tick 3-4 years back before Elon Musk bought Twitter. They said pay for it. I said fine, take my money. I don't have any problem. And then they took my money and they didn't give me what they promised. So I'm going to continue on Twitter, Arnab. I'm not going anywhere because what I do, what I believe in, which is mostly related to Pakistan, related to China, related to national security, I need to spread that message, Arnab.
Yeah.
So blue tick or no blue tick, I'm going to continue with that.
But Subrashta, what does this mean for a particular group out there? I mean, I began by talking about the left libs, for whom this was usually the only form of influence that they would have with themselves.
The fun has just begun. Because, the problem with them is that they peddle a narrative, and when the narrative does not suit them, then they are at loss what to do. So they began by saying that every web handle which is verified, apparently only their handles got verified earlier on. So that became the gospel of truth. But today, anyone, for that matter, we have Abhishek Asthana here, who is widely known as Gabbar Singh on social media. An entrepreneur like him, we are people who are going to stump them at every platform, every inch of the way. And we are people that they hate from the core of their hearts.
Yeah, so for you, it's a level playing field. Finally, for Sohail, what are you going to do, Sohail? You've been the most outraged about this.
I'm going to wallow in self-pity. I will seek the blessings of Arnab Goswami, Narendra Modi, and I hope to live peacefully hereafter. But I know I will have your blessings, your support, and hopefully the 9,400 rupees that you should have paid us for so many panels that we take part in. And one day you will pay for me and for my sins.
No, I think Elon Musk cannot afford to lose you. He cannot afford to lose you. But this has been a great debate. I mean, serious in turn, but it's brought up issues that we're going to have to go in detail once again. I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Reminder here, we are heading up just 3 days away now from the Republic Summit. 3 days away. And we'll be covering that live. See you after the weekend. Good night and goodbye.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,800 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been ranked among the top for innovation achievements.
It's a matter of immense pride for all of us at the Republic Media Network to share with you that our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi will be our chief guest at this year's Republic Summit to be held in Delhi on the 25th and 26th of April on the theme of Time of Transformation, a theme which is in line with his vision and his determination to make India a developed nation. And the reality is this, that the Prime Minister has led an incredible transformation of this country from 2014 till today. My belief is, our network's belief is, that the biggest transformations are yet to come. And that is why all eyes will be on Prime Minister Narendra.
From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What a controversy it's become, an unstoppable controversy. The Vadra Congress deciding to make the pro-Atik lobby the face of its Karnataka campaign, first, it's impossible to understand why the party has taken such a profoundly pro-Atik Ahmed position, which is evident from the fact that its biggest campaigner, a man called Imran Pratapgarhi, is not just close to the gangster Atik Ahmed, not just close to the gangster's brother, another gangster, Ashraf Ahmed. He says they are my gurus, they are my closest, and I am their fan. And this man, the Atik fan, Imran Pratapgarhi, has been specially chosen by the Vadra Congress to be the main face of its Karnataka campaign, viewers. Now, how do you put these two things together? The party says we are for Bharat Jodo, but what they do is Bharat Todo by putting gangsters and friends of gangsters as the face of their campaign. Now, till a couple of days back, the Vadra Congress said, you have no proof of it. We put out the proof. We had the videos. And today it's become the biggest poll controversy in Karnataka. People in Karnataka are talking about it. And the news is spreading. And as a result, you would have thought that the Vadra Congress would have pulled back this man, the pro-Atik Imran Pratapgarhi, from campaigning for the Congress party in Karnataka. But no. In fact, my latest information is the party has sent a helicopter to Imran Pratapgarhi so he can take his pro-Atik agenda across to all his rallies and move faster. And therefore, the party has specially given him a helicopter to go all around Karnataka with his pro-Atik message. Now, do you call this uniting the nation, ladies and gentlemen? No wonder today the BJP has approached the Election Commission seeking a ban from the pro-Atik Imran Pratapgarhi, taking his helicopter, the man of the gangster turned politician, the friend of the mafia, from going all around and campaigning in Karnataka. And my essential question is this, ladies and gentlemen, which